Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 and current A330 pilot, and in this video I want to show you the probably most exciting and challenging approach that you can find in Europe. This is not Innsbruck, this is not Samos, this is not Split, no, we are in Amsterdam. So, first of all, I would like to thank my Discord member Chris, who pointed me to this video, or rather who pointed me to this particular approach, with a real-life video available from it as well, which I am going to link in the video description below, which you must absolutely watch. So, we are approaching Amsterdam on the ILS approach, runway 36 right, and as you can see, we're not flying our standard Boeing 737, instead we're flying our Boeing business jet. And seeing that we are in the BBJ, we are going to park at the General Aviation Terminal. And I would not have believed it if I didn't see the video that Chris showed me, but actually, in the real life, ATC do ask Boeing business jets if they want to do a visual swing over from the approach to 36 right onto runway 04. Down here is where the general aviation is parking, so this is the business jet runway in Amsterdam, 2,200 meters. This is just a general overview of the airport here, that's where most of the airliners are landing. And this is where the business jets are landing. Now, approaching from the ILS on 36 right, visual swing over onto runway 04. That's a maneuver conducted at approximately 200 feet. You initiate the circling. In other words, in airline operation, that would be absolutely prohibited. However, there is video evidence out there from the cockpit that it is done in real life, and for that reason I want to show you in this video the most challenging approach you will probably find in all of Europe. Let's start with the general background. So runway 04 itself does have an RNAV approach, as you can see, but depending on the kind of operation they do at Amsterdam, flying that RNAV approach might not be very convenient, as you might be flying through departure and arrival sectors. So for that reason, the ILS approach to runway 36 right, followed by the circling, may be the preferred option. So how are we going to fly this? Well, the first thing is going to be we must make sure that we are stabilized on the approach by the time that we start the final. So being stabilized means going through the landing gate. So in our case, in VMC 500 feet, we need to be in the landing configuration, all the checklists need to be completed, and basically all the flying parameters, so thrust, pitch, and speed, and so on, must be on target. That's very important, otherwise the workload is going to become too much for you later on in the approach. Now the good thing is the Boeing business jet does have a rather slow approach speed. As you can see, my flaps up maneuvering speed here was just under 190 knots, and the flaps 5 speed is even just under 150 knots. So the final landing speed, as you can see, we opted for a flap 40 landing. The final speed is 119 plus 5 knots, so 124 knots, giving you a rather slow speed on the arrival with ample maneuvering opportunity. Alright, so we're going to fly this all the way down to the ILS Cat 1 minima, and when we have the runways in sight, both of them, we are going to start slightly turning out to the left in order to catch a little bit more of distance to start our turn to the final. However, we must make sure not to deviate too far, as the airport fence is approaching quite quickly down here. Alright then, that's our plan for the approach. Now let's go ahead and have a look into how we are going to fly this. So I do suggest you very much that you are going to have a look at the real life video right after watching this one. It is really one of the most exciting aviation videos from the 737 that I've seen in a long while. It would never have occurred to me that an approach like that was even possible, let alone somebody filming it right from the cockpit of a BBJ. That's really cool. Alright, anyway, we can see our runway coming up in the front over there. This is runway 36 right, and this over there is runway 04, so that gives you an idea of the turn that we are about to fly on the very short final there. Alright then, I told you we got to stabilize early, so at 4 miles, gear down and flaps 15. As mentioned, the BBJ is a very slow aircraft on the final, as it is basically the passenger version of the Boeing 737, but in a very, very light configuration. Okay, cool, so let's go landing configuration. We'll go VREF +5. Landing checklist, start switch is continuous, recall, checked, speed brake. Yeah, that's just the off-schedule descent due to the way I'm recording this, that's fine. Okay, so speed brake on, green light, landing it down through green, auto brakes to set, flaps 40, green light, landing lights on, landing checklist complete. Alright, so make sure that you take over early enough so that you've actually got some time. In my case, I'm going to take over now and recycle the flight directors, because we will certainly not need those on the final approach. Okay, we're going to fly this until we are rather close to the airport. Then we make a slight left-hand turn out from the runway over here, so that we've got a little bit more time for our final turn. Otherwise we end up right over the runway threshold with a little bit of bank angle still applied, and we don't want to do that. So 500 continue, this is the stable gate. Alright, you can see runway 04 coming up over there. I do recommend to switch to 4K over here so that you can see these things a little bit easier. So that's runway 04 up there. You can see the wind is pointing right towards it, making it a little bit nicer. Checked. Okay then. So, slight turn out to the left, but make sure not to overfly the airport fence. So this is really just a tiny bit over here that we are maneuvering. Also, we might get a GPWS warning, because we're deviating quite far from our published approach path. And then make sure not to use too much of a bank angle on the final. You shouldn't use more than 20 degrees, because you're really low over here, and your engines and wingtips need to be separated from the ground. 100. Alright, and here we are. Alright, don't flare for too long. Here we go. So, speed brake up, thrust goes normal. Idle reverse, we let it roll all the way to the end. 100 knots, because at the end is where most GA aircraft are parking. Unless you've booked a hangar, then you've got plenty of them on the right hand side over here. For our case, we're going to park right at the end. And that is it. In my opinion, the most challenging approach that you can possibly fly in Europe, because you're maneuvering the very closest to the ground. I do hope that you all enjoyed this one. Now do head over to the link of the real life video that you can find in the description below. It is absolutely worth watching. One of the most impressive videos, in my opinion, of a 737. But with that, I would like to say thank you very much. Don't attempt this at an airline. You are going to be fired straight away. In general aviation, however, things are a little bit more relaxed. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you liked this one. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. And as always, I am looking forward to your feedback on that one. Make sure to try it. Make sure to let me know what you think of it. And then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one. In the meantime, I would appreciate a small like in YouTube as well, as it does help with the algorithms. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you're interested in further videos. Thank you very much for watching. If you really loved what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. But in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and see you all again right on the next one.